And what's up, people? It is Tuesday, not Sunday. So don't be shocked, but we have a special edition. Or I guess we moved Sundays to today due to scheduling issues. But this is Meadow Drive Hoops, episode number 10. And we are live on YouTube, Twitch, and also the Facebook experience page. And I am Drew, and joining me here as always, that's you.
Tony.
Okay. And Mike should be here in a bit. But yeah, people, it's been a week. The NBA All-Star game finished, All-Star weekend in general finished. Um and yeah, we got some things to talk about. Um n- so Tony, why don't you get things started here?
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure everybody has getting their recovery back from the All-Star game, All-Star weekend festivities, Rising Stars, Slam Dunk contest, 3-point contest, and the All-Star game. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was a lot of Spurs presence in this weekend. Harper, Fox, Castle, Wemby, and Carter Bryant. So we had a heavy Spurs presence, and everyone that was participating from the Spurs, we put our fingerprints somewhere along the line. So with that being said, I want to start off what Wemby did at the All-Star game. Unfortunately, he lost the first game, which is fine, but his presence and the tone he set, I felt like him being aggressive, playing defense, and not lollygagging and taking this as if it's just another, walk in a park, with your lady friend. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? He came in and he changed the whole mindset for everybody. So he set the tone, and Anthony Edwards said at the interview, at one of the interviews, that you know, Wemby set the tone, and we had to follow. So hey, is the All-Star game back, Drew? Is it back? Is it back? Because I sure felt like there was some presence of defense going on, competition, and I like the format, world versus United States, because these guys are really really competitive, and these are the best players in the league, and I mean at some point they don't want to lose. So I like that format. Adam Silver did a good job of trying to figure out what it is exactly, how to get these guys to compete. And I think he found the formula.
I agree. For the longest time, the All Star game was just like a bunch of guys who are like, "Hey, let's see who can score 200 points." Where and it lost that competitive drive. I think the
Mm-hmm.
last guy to actually be that competitive was Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, you have Victor Wembanyama, who's very much like, I want to be competitive. I think we should take this seriously,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what he's doing. On the at the All Star game this past weekend. He seemed genuinely pissed off that Scotty Barnes hit a three to win the game in the first round. But overall, like, everybody seemed to be enjoying it. It seemed very positive. I mean, the whole tournament thing is kind of weird, but overall, like, I'm digging the world versus USA, because it's weird, because it's weird that a lot of the younger players are being more competitive and taking it seriously, as opposed to the younger or the older players. Granted, the older players actually won and they were, kicking their asses, but
Mm-hmm.
um again, it was good seeing some Spurs rep out there. De'Aaron Fox hit a three to win the game for one of his teammates, or one of his teams, I mean. So I'm happy about how this All-Star game turned out.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if you saw that one play where Wemby's team, the world, they let that 3-pointer go. I believe they crashed too much into the paint, and they left him open, and he was just like, if y'all would have just, let him shoot the two, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, we would have got the ball back, and then we could have had a chance to win it. But they over converged, and and they could have let the two go. They could have really let the two go, and instead they just left the dude open for three and cashed the game out. So very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, I brought that up. It does suck. Would have been nice if Wemby walked away with a win, but I mean, a win for the league at least,
Yes.
and a win for the fans.
Yes. So I have one gripe about All-Star Weekend. Just one gripe. Everything was fine, or whatever. It was more of, how is Damian Lillard playing in the 3-point contest and you're supposed to be out for the whole year? I mean, you shouldn't be able to, play in these festivities, because I thought, you had to at least hit a certain amount of 3-pointers, in order to be considered into the 3-point contest. You're talking about a guy that took a 0 dribbles this year, and somehow magically it's like, okay, well, dude, are you really hurt then? Like, what? Like, I'm not accusing him of not being hurt, but it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't. I have never seen that before. I don't know if you've seen that before, Drew, where somebody just stepped into the All-Star Weekend and they had a season-ending injury, and all of a sudden they pop up at the 3-point contest and play. Like, I have never seen that. I'm not a fan of that. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, that is weird. I just assumed if you have like a torn ACL, you can't walk or play. Maybe he's at a point where he can take shots in his rehab, but I don't know. That is weird. That is really fucking weird. I'm assuming maybe it's the league they wanted maybe like more eyes and ears and like a star in the 3-point shootout, but I don't know. That made no sense to me. And then he won while he's supposed to be hurt. Can you imagine that? Like, you lose, you work all year and you get to here, and then you lose to a guy that didn't even play, and then he wins the fucking thing. Like, that's just weird.
Yeah, I don't think he should have been able to qualify to even play. I honestly, it's like, it would be like Jason Tatum coming out. We're aware, and Halliburton. We're aware these dudes have season-ending injuries. We were prepared for that, and I just don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. And I might be overreacting to that situation, but I just don't see it. But that was just one thing I wanted to point out. I just thought that was really interesting for that to happen. So we got that going on. So we had Mitch Johnson coaching one of the all-star teams. I can't remember which side it was, but he was one of the coaches. Did you see that, Drew?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. So yeah, we I believe Mitch Johnson is eligible, or he's one of the top 2 coaches, candidates for Coach of the Year. Him and JB Bickerstaff for the Detroit Pistons. So we'll see. So we will see if he could pull that off. He has a pretty good chance of doing it. So, one of the other things I want to point out is Castle showed out. Fox, as you said, he hit that game-winning shot earlier, and I'm glad that he was inserted in to the All-Star game last minute. I loved it. Having him in there, he's proven. I believe this is his second All-Star selection, and he has been a perennial All-Star his whole career, but somehow he's just always getting voted out by other point guards and stuff like that. But for him to come in and show that, like, hey, I hit the game-winning shot. I belong here. I really like that from him.
Mike is here, by the way. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, man?
What's up, Tony?
We're just talking about some of the All-Star festivities. Fox hitting the game-winning shot. Castle's presence, Harper's presence, Carter Bryant, stuff like that. So, did you have any topics that you want to cover for the All-Star game?
I will say that I thought it was an improvement over like the previous four or five All-Star years, especially for the All-Star game itself, which was, according to Ant, inspired by Wemby's competitiveness.
Yes.
They were fun games. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, continue. We've been on a little soliloquy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they were all good games. Even the last one, even though it was a blowout, I still enjoyed it. Because that's what happens when you don't play defense. And honestly, they were not playing defense that last game.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny to see them get blown out like that.
Mm-hmm. I want to get your take on one of the subjects that I just broached right now. Damian Lillard, how is he eligible and able to come in and play in the 3-point contest when it was well noted, along with, Tatum, the Tatums of the world, the Halliburtons of the world, the Kyrie Irvings of the world, that, they're not playing for the whole season. And then out of nowhere, he's inserted into the 3-point contest. It begs the question, how injured are you really if you're able to participate in the 3-point contest?
I would argue that shooting is probably the only thing he can do right now, because I don't think he can even run. So if all you can do is shoot, all you can practice is taking your jump shots. So he gets into that rhythm, And also Steph Curry didn't participate, and that's another reason why he won. Dame, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just kind of think that you have to make a certain amount of threes in a season, or at least take a dribble, in order to be, thought about to insert. Not to say that he's not capable. Obviously, he won, but I mean, there's got to be, what's the criteria then? There's no criteria if he doesn't, if no one has to ever take a dribble. So, just a question I had, but you pretty well answered it.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how it happened, though. Like, did he approach the NBA, or did the NBA approach him like, hey, we know you're injured, but you want to be in this contest?
I've never seen that.
That's wild. It worked out for the NBA, though, because it was a pretty good contest.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Don Newpool? He did really good.
Yeah, that guy is going to be something. And it's only his first year, and he's just figuring out. And he seems like he's already a veteran in the league. Like he's good. Con Knipple, really, really good. And he went to Duke. So
pretty good draft class.
Yeah. What y'all think about Carter Bryant in the dunk contest?
I thought it was fine until that last dunk.
Man, well, who was he talking to again? Vince? It was Vince, right, that he talked to?
Yeah.
Like with 30 seconds, like wasted 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It felt like a movie scene, except in the movie, he would have made the dunk. like straight out of a movie.
Carter Bryant doing Carter Bryant things.
Hey, that perfect dunk was awesome though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like original, but like he did it he did it like flawlessly. It was smooth.
Yeah.
But
It was,
yeah, even with that, I still think the dunk contest was underwhelming.
Yeah, some dude I never heard of, Keith Kashad Johnson. I have never heard of him before, but hats off to him winning it. When I first saw it, I thought it said Keldon Johnson, but I was like, what is Keldon doing in the dunk contest? But yeah, it's Kashad Johnson. I'd never heard of him, and but yeah, he won. So hats off to him. But I want to segue into another subject. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard the news that Sohan cleared waivers and he is going to be reporting to the Knicks. Here's my take. I don't, it's going to be hard for him to crack the rotation. They're going to probably get a look at him, and they already have plenty of 3-and-D guys over there. Mikal Bridges, and he can shoot. LG Anunoby, he can shoot and play defense. So it's just, add more chinks to your armor when Sohan comes. So we will see how that works, but I think he's going to be a third stringer. I don't think it's going to be hard for him to crack the rotation. And, I hope the best for him in his career. But I want to get y'all's take on that signing, him going to the Knicks.
Go ahead, Mike.
So I think he actually will fit in with the Knicks play style really well because they're a defensive team. Mm-hmm. They play pretty good defense, and I think he'll crack the second rotation, but I think it might take a year or so. Like he's gonna have to wait for an opportunity. But in the NBA this season, there's been so many injuries. I don't think it'll take too long for that opportunity to arise.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing that Mike said. I think he'll do fine in New York. It's not like with San Antonio where I kind of predicted he would fall out of that rotation because the team's a little deep. This team's deeper this year, especially the bench. You got Keldon Johnson, you got Carter Bryant, you got Dylan Harper and Cornette. I didn't really see Sohan fitting in there. What's up, Bentley Patsiel? What's up? So I think he'll do fine in New York. I think he's what they need, just a defensive guy. I think they already have enough 3 guys. They need D. They need more defense on that team. So I think he'll do fine.
Okay. There we have it. I want to broach another subject.
Are you just a Sohan hater still?
Yeah, I am a little bit. I don't think he's gonna go to the Knicks and change lives. I just saw Sohan. He's just not a Spurs player. Like the wild hair, hair color.
You know what his occupation was? He's Wemby's bodyguard. That's what he was. Same way that Jordan had Rodman.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let nobody mess with him,
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But outside of that, no. But I agree with you. Wemby's bodyguard. Outside of that, he just didn't fit the Spurs mantra. That's not your typical Spurs player identity. If Sohan, he just didn't fit that. So, I'm not saying that had anything to do with it, but this is not really a Spurs player. but Pop drafted him. He saw something in him. And, we might have missed on that. But, hey, he can go to New York and maybe develop a jump shot.
I would say if he doesn't thrive in New York, I'm not sure he'll make it anywhere. Because he needs to be on a defensive team.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, utilizing his defense on a team.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's all I got to say about that.
I agree. So, we'll see what happens with the Knicks. We'll see if he can crack the rotation and get some minutes. And, they might need all the 3-and-D guys they can throw at the Detroit Pistons and Cade Cunningham over there. So we'll see what happens with that. So I want to segue into the next subject. There was a report that came out that the Spurs do not have enough experienced players for the playoffs. I want to counter that argument. And I'm pretty sure y'all know I'm preaching to the choir with you guys, but just the fans out there, we actually do have some experience on this roster. We had Luke Cornett. He won a championship with Boston. Harrison Barnes, he won a championship with Golden State. Fox has been in the playoffs. And stuff. Olynyk has been in the playoffs. So we have some players on this team that have won rings. And, the fact that they're just saying we just don't have any experience and this and that, I think they got to go back and do a history lesson and look at the players on the roster because we got some veteran players on here.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. I don't really have much to say about that. I mean, I do agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about this ad nauseum. I think the NBA Cup helped. Guys like Wemby, guys like Harper, and guys like Castle prepare themselves for, big games, and also to have a sense of urgency in games like that. So I think they'll do fine in the playoffs, which is like in 2 months. So
Or
pretty much,
it'll be like the Thunder, fail a few times and then just like make it all the way through after you get that experience. I think the Spurs are elite this year. And I don't know if they're going to get to the finals, but they're going to get great experience in the playoffs for sure. But I would be upset if they don't make it to the second round. That should be at least the minimum.
Yeah. I don't know who's the 7th and 8th seed. I think the Suns or the Warriors. I can't remember who it is in the 7th seed. But yeah, I believe what I heard was if the playoffs were to start right now and we were to, like, hypothetically, let's say we beat the Suns or the Warriors, the second round, we meet up with Jokic. So, that could be a good test for us and, to see what it is in the future. But I'm not picking us to win that series. I will pick us if we go against OKC to win that series, which is crazy. I just think we match up with the personnel well, and Jalen Williams has been in and out of the lineup. So I mean that might be a hot take. That might be a hot take, Drew. You got that? You got that for me? You got that noise?
Give me a sec. Give me a sec.
Okay. A hot take. That's a hot take. Yeah, I do have us beating the OKC. We're probably not going to end up getting that far because we're going to be 1-2, maybe even 3 the whole season. But yeah, I do have us beating them. Go ahead.
Well, with the momentum that the Spurs have right now, it is possible they overtake OKC. OKC has lost like half their games and recently. What were they? 18-13, I think, or something over their past 21.
You think
Or,
so? You think we
yeah,
can catch them?
they've been dropping more games recently, especially since SGA's been injured.
Oh yeah, that is right. SGA is injured too, and Jalen Williams is out of the lineup.
Yeah, and they've been struggling like bad. So I think, but SGA's, if I'm not mistaken, he's supposed to come back within the next week. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to get that momentum back they had before, or if the Spurs are able to continue their. Would they have 6-game win streak?
Yeah, they're on a 6-game win streak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, it could be a fight at the end of the season for that top seed. That would be pretty
Yeah.
cool. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, there's been some, and I called this out. I'm not saying it literally is, but there's a lot of teams that have been sitting all their starters against us. You know, we obviously, you know, now we know.
It was 3 straight games, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like it's like, are we putting the fear of God in teams? Like they don't want to play us? Are y'all ducking smoke?
It's just giving the Spurs more momentum, though. Although they almost lost to the Warriors without Curry. Like, weren't they down like 6? Like, they were down a lot in that game.
Yeah, but I think we really needed that game, regardless, even if Curry wasn't playing or not. Just from a confidence perspective, for us to be like, because you know they beat us 2 straight times before that, and you know to get that win, it's just like, okay, yeah, we can beat this team, and kind of with like the Timberwolves, we lost 2 games against them, and then we came back on the last game we had with them and we won. So I think it's more of a confidence perspective for us to win those types of games, and then sometimes we just play down to our competition. You know, that happened with that OKC game, but we ended up, you know, kind of running away with it. But they're kind of keeping close to us, and they're one of the teams that sat all their starters. The Lakers sat all their starters, so you know, I think teams are kind of scared of us a little bit. I think Wemby, his presence alone deters a lot of teams from, you know, driving to the hoop, and they're just like, man, do we really want to deal with this tonight? Like, we're gonna sit you guys. So I think that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean that could be a thing, you know, because Wemby is, you know, slowly by each game coming into his own. You know, same thing with you know, Castle. He's playing with a lot more confidence. Harper's kind of getting his groove back, and even Barnes is getting his shot back. So I also just think, you know, teams are just, you know, especially heading into the final stretches of the season, they kind of want to play it safe. Um, but then again, that wouldn't make sense either because like OKC, they've been number one all year, and now they're barely like what 2 or 3 games ahead of San Antonio. Um, so I don't know. It is weird, but yeah, it's interesting to see that against this team.
It's also nice to see that the 3rd seed is like 3 or 4 games behind the Spurs, so there is a little, you know, room for error, hopefully, which won't be needed. But
Yeah. You know, it's just depending upon how this all shapes up and stuff like that. And I want to say something real quick. I know we're going back to the All-Star game. We already broached that subject, but I honestly felt by just looking, I don't think LeBron James should have been in the All-Star game. I don't think he had the stats.
it's,
You know,
it's popularity.
Yeah, you're right. I I just feel, I know he's one of the worst defenders in the league right now. I just I'm ready for the dude to retire.
You think he's worse defender than Luka?
Man, that's debatable. That's debatable right now. I would honestly, and I'm not. Yeah, I would probably give a little bit of an edge to Luka right now. But hey, if we meet those dudes in the playoffs first round,
That's
I
a
would
dream
love to see
matchup.
that.
That's a
Oh
dream
yeah,
matchup for sure.
yeah. Oh
That's a
yeah.
sweep. The Lakers would probably get one game. They'd have one game where Luka gets like 60 points, and they'd win that one game, and that would probably be it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's the best possible first round matchup the Spurs could have.
Mhm.
And I think the Timberwolves is the worst because that would be really tough. Because Ant is going to accept that challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I think that's been. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that's a nightmare matchup, I think, for the Spurs. Because you could play perfect team defense, and if you have someone like Ant going off, it's not going to matter. He was also the most consistent player at the All-Star game. Kawhi scored that, 31, 33 or whatever, but he didn't show up that last game. Ant had double digits all three of the games I think he played. In 3 of the games.
That was the team that what is it? The Kawhi Leonard, LeBron, KD. That was the old man squad. They did them dudes wrong. They them dudes was gonna peter out.
That's true.
So, yeah, we just don't match up well against the Timberwolves. And for some reason, I don't know what it is. It seems like freaking Anthony Edwards has a hard-on for Wemby. I don't know what it is. He was over there. He wanted to take the jump ball with him. Like, I don't know what it was. I think it was 2 jump balls. He was like, "Oh yeah, I want him in the jump ball." So he's trying to go at Wemby. Apparently, there's like some type of personal vendetta that AE has with Wemby. He also said in the last game, "I wish we could have cleared it out and me and him just play one-on-one." So, apparently he I don't know what it is, but he sees him as a threat and he's trying to take him down.
Well, I mean, you want to take out the biggest, baddest dog in the yard. So, I mean, Anthony Edwards, he's obviously a competitor. He sees this 7'6" Wemby who can like move the court like a guard, and he's like, "I want that guy. I want to play against him. I want him to block me. I want him to go at me. I want to go at him." So it's understandable.
It's like a ant going against an ant eater.
That
was good.
Yeah. So it remains to be seen. I just want our players to get in this season. We're going to make the playoffs for sure. So any little type of playoff push we can do, I'm just excited to make it a playoffs. I think we're good enough to get past the first round, but this will give us a good take on how far we make it and see what type of roster changes we need to make, deeming how far we make it in the playoffs. So, this is maybe a showcase for, Harrison Barnes to see if we, have a future with him next year. I would like to see him return, but I think he just fits well into our system. He's not trying to do too much. He's not, trying to do too little. And he left his jump shot in Vegas. So, we'll see what happens with us going forward in the playoffs. So I can't wait to see that.
I mean, he did shoot well the last few games, I think. But yeah, he's the perfect system player for the Spurs. So I think now that if they continue bringing him off the bench, I think that would be the best option. He doesn't need that many minutes, but when he's hitting his shots, he should get more minutes. That's how I think it should be, because he's not really a defensive player or anything. So when he's not hitting those shots, he's a liability. Although he'll still create opportunities for others because he's really good at moving the ball. How the Spurs, want the ball to be moved.
Yeah, we're like a 2, 3, 4, 5 pass team. Take a great shot, but let's make this other pass to take an even greater shot. So that's always been the Spurs system and how we run it, and he fits right into that. So hopefully he'll continue his streak of good games on this 6-game win streak. Do y'all know who we play on Thursday?
Phoenix.
That could be a revenge game.
They lost the first two, right, against Phoenix?
Right. Well, Brooks isn't playing.
He's suspended for
all that shit he was talking about like, I have the blueprint to stop Wemby, and then he got suspended. I'm like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
I told Tony that.
I told Tony that.
I saw. Yeah. It was just some dude named Neon, YouTube streamer or Twitch streamer or whatever he is. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I found out the blueprint or whatever. You just gotta put a smaller guy like a shooting guard, and you gotta move him out of the perimeter, move him out to the perimeter, and don't worry, guys. He may have a difficult time with that this year, but next year when he gains muscle and you're not able to weed him out and he starts getting Giannis strength, then yeah, the whole league is in trouble. I mean, people are in trouble right now, but once he figures out, and he's going to go and look at this over the offseason, okay, these are what teams are doing to you. They're putting a smaller guy on you. So what do I got to do? I got to stop letting these dudes weed me out. So I think that's something he's going to be looking at this offseason.
Mm-hmm. He's only going to get better.
Did you have any topics you want to cover, Mike?
I don't know if y'all already talked about this, but I'm very interested in the idea of them doing a one-on-one tournament for the All-Star next year. I wish they would do it. I've already heard players talking about they would do it. What, Kyrie, and I bet Ant would definitely do it. There's probably other players that would do it as well, I think. But that's something I would be more interested in. I mean, like, the dunk contest hasn't been that good in a long time, so most dunks have been already done, but it's crazy because we have more athletic people now than we used to. So you think that they would be able to create new dunks that nobody was capable of doing before. What do you think?
Well, if you're going to get my take, I think Zion Williamson needs to come out of the shadows. Ja Morant needs to come out of the shadows and join in on the dunk contest. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, call these dudes out on a broadcast on NBA TV, and apparently they act like they didn't hear it. And I knew they were going to do that.
They should make it public when they ask.
It was public. They kind of call people out. They called them out, but it was not broadcasted in a way, to, like it was like not on the ESPN airways or, but it was enough to be like, look, guys, like come and do the dang dunk contest, So LeBron James ruined the dunk contest. We already talked about this in previous episodes, but yeah, it's just these guys just don't want to do it. I mean, we have the people, the talent, or whatever to do it, but there's no incentive for these players to get up off their ass and go join in.
Yeah, the one-on-one thing I think would be interesting. I'm surprised they haven't done that already. All-Star Weekend in general was kind of played out. I mean, the 3-point shootout's probably the only interesting one. They got rid of the skills challenge. I don't know if y'all noticed that. The dunk contest hasn't really been the dunk contest in a long time. So I don't know, add something new. And having a one-on-one tournament where the winner gets money, or you can like donate it to charity or whatever. But I don't know, do something, shake it up. I mean, the new All-Star game format was kind of a gamble, but it ended up paying off, and now people are more invested in it. So, and yeah, get stars in. Like, make sure you get like actual stars in this one-on-one thing. Get Anthony Davis, get Zion Williamson, get people in that could get noticed and recognition, and maybe get like a fire under their ass.
Hey, Anthony Davis will get injured on the first dunk.
Not Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards. I'm sorry.
He's stupid.
Not. I'm sorry. Wrong Anthony. Anthony Edwards. But yeah, you know what I mean.
It's right. You're right, though. They should get bigger stars. Well, they offer like $1 million. Maybe they could get some big stars.
Mm-hmm.
They would have to incentivize it somehow.
It's hard to incentivize multi-million-dollar athletes that already have everything at their feet. I mean, they have everything. There's nothing else that money can buy them. They have too much of that. So, I don't know what it could be, but I do agree with you, Drew, on how they need to. Okay, now we got the All-Star game underhand as far as getting it to be competitive again. Let's shift our attention to the supplementary events, and let's try to target to see what we can do to make those better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and also in closing, you're right. It's hard to motivate multimillionaires, but I think the best way to motivate a millionaire is to offer him more money. You know what I mean? Just simple. Be like, $5 million so you can do this, or I don't know. And you'll get even more money if you win. So that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about, some guys that, me and all three of us right now, our combined incomes all together will never reach $1 million in our lifetime. Just one. So respectfully, all of us is, that's a lot of damn money. So
no, disrespectfully, we're all bums. No, I'm playing. We ain't shit.
Yeah. So, so Drew, did you have any other subjects you want to broach?
Maybe one. The possibility that the NBA board, was it Board of Governors or Board of whatever, they're going to meet up over the summer to discuss possibly adding 2 more teams, a Seattle team and a Las Vegas team. Expansion. There you
go.
Yeah. So I don't know how y'all felt about that. If that were to happen, they would need to move another team to another conference, and I think they'll move Minnesota to the East because Minnesota is in the Midwest with Chicago, Detroit, and Milwaukee. So I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah, I think it would be good for the NBA because I think there's a surplus of talent. So I think there's enough talent to go to 2 more teams.
No, I agree. I have a take on that. So my friend he lives in Seattle. And he has been clamoring to me for years on end on how he wishes he still had the Supersonics back. So there is a fan base there in Seattle that I think should get first dibs at that. Las Vegas, I mean, I think it should be, second or whatever. But yeah, I think Seattle has deserved it. And they still have like a, Seahawks or my bad, the Supersonics fandom there. And I think if they were to get them back, I think they would support them more and welcome them on in. So yeah, I think for sure Seattle needs to.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, Seattle, those that Supersonics. Anytime you like go to that arena, like that place was loud. Those fans love their Sonics. So I've been very much in on the of the ilk of like Seattle needs a basketball team again. Um, and Las Vegas is kind of inevitable because they already have the Stars and the WNBA, and they won some championships there. Becky Hammond. Um, I think they have the Raiders. I don't know if they have, they have the Golden Knights, my favorite team. So it makes sense for those two teams, especially Seattle. Seattle, I would really love to see have the Sonics again.
Yeah. Do y'all think they should go back to the Supersonics, or you think they should change the name?
No, they should
go back to the Sonics.
Yeah, they should definitely go back to the Sonics.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. So, yeah, that's one of the teams that for sure needs to get it back. And I think, that being said, I have a question, though, because I don't remember the Charlotte Bobcats. I was too young. I just knew the team just erected out of nowhere. And, I was like, oh, yeah, the Bobcats, But how does the expansion draft work?
Like, what do you mean?
So when let's say the Seattle comes and the Raider or the Vegas comes, how does the expansion draft work? Like, do they have crack at NBA rosters or like active rosters, or they just build all entirely through the draft?
I think it's like a mix of both. I know like some teams will like qualify a player and throw them into like a whatchamacallit expansion draft, because I remember when Minnesota first became a team, Rick Mahorn from the Detroit Pistons, like a year after they had won a championship, he had literally gotten taken into the expansion draft. But let me look it up real quick because now I'm intrigued by that. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. I just don't want Harper, Castle, Fox. I know Wemby. There's no way Wemby's not going anywhere. But all our supplementary players, I don't want it to be an accident. Like how that. So I'm just trying to figure out how does that happen. I just want to make sure our players. Okay, go ahead.
I got it right here. That's it. So. The draft allows up to 30 existing teams to protect up to 8 players, exposing at least one. Expansion teams select from the remaining pool, with a maximum of 1 player taken per team. Unrestricted free agents are ineligible. Drafted restricted free agents become unrestricted. Protection limit, teams can protect up to 8 players. Exposure limit, teams must expose at least 1 player. Selection limit, expansion teams can take only 1 player from any single existing team. Player eligibility, only players under contract with player team options or restricted free agents are eligible to be protected or drafted. Unrestricted free agents cannot be picked. Oh, and there's more. The draft usually occurs between the NBA Finals and the NBA Draft. The compensation, teams losing a player while over the cap may receive trade exception. And restrictions, teams cannot reacquire a player lost in the expansion draft for 1 year.
Oh. So we can protect up to 8 players. That's the main point I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right.
So
Well,
so it becomes a slightly better than a G League team. Basically, all the players that are barely making it on their teams.
so
Essentially.
Most teams only play 8 or 9 players, I think, unless there's a blowout. Then they play their third stringers.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. But I'm all for 2 more teams coming in. Personally, I would just maybe. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but I would just maybe replace 2, meh teams. Like the Kings are never going to win shit, so just get rid of the Kings. Just replace them with Las Vegas or whatever. Get rid of New Orleans because New Orleans is really not going to win shit, and just replace them with Seattle. But I don't know, that's just my.
interesting.
You don't think there's enough talent, or
I just
because I
don't think.
mean,
I just don't think. Well, I was gonna say I don't think those 2 franchises have been built up as winning franchises. The talent's not the problem because I think New Orleans has good talent. Sacramento has fine talent, but it's just like those 2 teams have not been winning franchises for a while. So again, this is just me playing league owner in my head, and I know it's like easier said than done. You'd have to like go through a lot of like red tape to make it happen. But if I had to wave a magic wand and just be like, okay, we need to make room for these expansion teams because we can only keep 30. Sacramento, New Orleans, and get rid of y'all. Bye bye.
What about the Hornets? They don't never
Charlotte
win.
Hornets, they're fine. No,
Okay.
I think they're going to do well. They have a really good young team and they're exciting to watch. So, but yeah, Seattle. Well, Seattle and Las Vegas are going to be West teams. So I'm mainly talking about the West.
Okay.
didn't
Well,
didn't the Bobcats just win like 9 straight games? Or I mean, the Hornets. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're on a hot streak.
I think it's Charlotte.
yeah, but I think they're still like 10th or 9th or something. They're still like not. They're still on the outside looking in. But no, they're doing good. And what I meant by that is just teams that just never make it to the playoffs. I can't remember the last time the Hornets made it to the playoffs. Was it with Grandmama?
With Chris Paul.
Oh yeah, with Chris
Cliff
Paul, Cliff Paul.
Cliff Paul.
Cliff Paul.
Speaking of Cliff Paul, did y'all hear the retirement from Cliff Paul?
Poor Chris Paul. Like he wanted to go back to the Clippers to end his career, and then they fired him, and then they traded him, and they traded his ass out of the country, and that's what he's like, man, fuck you. He just decided to retire.
Yeah,
I hate to laugh at it, but it's just like poor Chris Paul. I've never been a Chris Paul fan, but it's like poor him. The disrespect.
it is disrespectful. It's just the one team that you think that would show appreciation for you. The Clippers. And he got treated disrespectfully. But apparently, there's some locker room issues going on. Him telling younger players that they don't need to listen to the coaching staff. They need to do it this way. So basically, he was undermining Ty Lue. I don't know how true it is, but there was a report that came out like that. So Ty Lue got fed up with him, and we know how boisterous and demonstrative Chris Paul is. We know what he is, and it's like having another coach on the floor. So it doesn't sound too far off, But I'm not an NBA player. But all this is all word of mouth, so we don't know. But where there's smoke, there's fire.
No, agreed. Chris Paul has a history of kind of being like this. He's not exactly the most well-liked guy by a lot of people. Um, because he kind of has this very fiery, aggressive personality that can rub a lot of people the wrong way. Didn't rub the Spurs the wrong way because you heard them say nothing but good things about him. Even Castle said that because of him, I'm where I'm at. Wemby said the same thing. His best friends, LeBron said the same thing. So, but I mean, that wouldn't shock me if that was the case. Of he was, I guess, trying to be player and coach, but more so coach, in with the Clippers.
I think he needs to look into maybe doing some type of coaching. Maybe it could be an assistant coach. Start off there on somebody's bench and then work his way up. But I think that's what his calling is. I think it's been that for years. And, I think that's what he wants to do. He's passionate about the game, and we need people like that on the sideline. Would he work on the Spurs coaching staff? Maybe he already has kind of camaraderie with this team, and our players are kind of younger, so they will receive it a lot better than, say, a veteran ball club.
Yeah, I think he works better for a younger team, in my opinion. Mike,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. A younger team, preferably with a few bigs, because he's a huge defensive liability. But even though he's old, he can still pass really well, and he still has a really high basketball IQ. So just like Luca, he would just need really good defensive players to back him up, and he could still do well on a team.
He retired though.
If he was still playing.
Okay.
but y'all have anything else to bring up?
Nope.
All right, people, we are done. That is episode 10 in the can. Sorry if I seem pretty off tonight. I just been nursing a migraine. I got a packet of ice from the freezer. I've just been like putting the back of my head, so feel a little bit better. Still gonna take some ibuprofen as soon as I get off here and maybe just like call it a night. But I want to thank y'all for coming on. Want to thank everybody in the YouTube chat, anyone watching over Twitch and Facebook, and I want to thank you, gentlemen. I want to thank Tony and Mike for being on here tonight, like they usually are. So,
and one thing before you close it out, hey, people, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, drop some comments, and we will be more than happy to reply to them.
Yeah, we get more views on YouTube actually, with the reels. So TikTok's kind of annoying because you have a wide variety of people that just want to chime in and talk shit, and it's just like I don't want to deal with that. So I just stick to I just stick to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's less of a hassle. But yeah. Anyways, people, we are done. We will see y'all when we see you. It could be Sunday, it could be Saturday, maybe Friday. You never know. But the experience will be tomorrow, and I was going to make an announcement for the show, but I'm going to save that announcement for tomorrow. So,
no, we want to hear. Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, okay, I guess I'll make the announcement. So, we officially have a third man on the experience. So joining myself and Justin will be our very good friend Ruben Prime. I've been wanting to add a third man for a while, and Ruben has proven he's the right man for the job. So Ruben is now part of the experience officially. He'll be starting his. Go ahead.
No. Does he have experience, or is he new, or has he had his own podcast before?
Well, no, he's been on the show before, and he has his podcast. We actually have our own podcast on the side, Culture Attack. So yeah, he's been around for a minute. He's been around for a minute. So yeah, but essentially tomorrow he'll be starting his shift. He'll be he'll be clocking in for the experience officially tomorrow. So it'll be a 3-man power trip, like in wrestling, or yeah. But anyways, that's it. We'll see y'all tomorrow for the experience, and we will see y'all sometime this week, preferably Sunday, but you never know, for Metal Drive Hoops. So take care, people, and peace out.